Hey, what's up, everybody? Rob Sower here with Sower Real Estate at Keller Williams Realty in Boise. Before I jump into all the market stats and all that kind of stuff, I just wanted to give a big thank you to all the armed forces out there. Veterans Day is on Monday, and I'm a huge supporter of the people that they give well, ultimately sometimes their lives. And I come from a family that's had a lot of military background. My dad was a Huey pilot in the Marine Corps. I was born in Quantico, Virginia. So very proud of that heritage. My brother served in the Navy. Got a nephew that served in the Marine Corps. My grandfather, my stepfather. Could go down the list. So anyway, just wanted to say thanks to all the veterans out there, and just let them know that I appreciate it. So let's see. The other thing is, I wanted to let everybody know that we have our client appreciation party coming up pretty soon. It'll be here before you know it. And for those of you that don't know, it is a kind of a thank you event that we do once a year. It'll be January 9th of this year. And what it is we rent out the bistro at the Village. Everyone gets drinks. We have that are provided, of course. And then we have some nice hors d'oeuvres, heavy hors d'oeuvres. And then we rent out a theater to watch the new Star Wars movie. So pretty excited about that. I hope the movie's good. But the other thing is, for those people that bring us a referral or do business with us between now and the party, January 9th of 2020, they will be entered into a drawing for a prize. So last year we gave away a Traeger grill. I'm not sure what we're going to do this year, but it'll be cool. And so yeah, and it's a really good opportunity for people to take advantage of the market, honestly, because as you're going to see as I go through what happens in January, February, March, like right now, getting ready to put your house on the market is actually it can be a pretty good idea, which I'll get into. So one last thing before I jump into the market dynamics. Today I went to a class, a continuing education class that it was 2 credits and a small fee to go to it, but it was a really good class on how do appraisers come up with value. And one thing that we're always trying to do is just to learn more and more. One of the things I found really interesting about it is the idea of a pre-listing appraisal and why that would be important. It's not quite as important from a seller's, or not as expensive from a seller's standpoint, to hire an appraiser to come out when it's not tied to a loan. And that's a whole nother story that I can explain why later, or you can call me about. But the advantage of it for a seller is largely due to what we're seeing with the influx of people coming from out of state. For example, if you are an out-of-state buyer and you know that it's a seller's market, so you have to be quick on things and that sort of thing, but let's say you can't get out that particular weekend to see a house that just hit the market. Like we had a house that hit the market yesterday, and we've got like 5 offers on it already. So if you're out of state and you know the area well enough to want to make an offer, but you don't have the ability to fly in that weekend, if you saw that there was an appraisal that was already done for a certain value, it would give you confidence. So it's a good thing for sellers in that regard. And just kind of a tip that I thought I would pass on to you guys. So, okay, market dynamics. Let's see, that's October 2018. That's not really what I wanted to talk about. Okay, so market dynamics for this last month, October. Not a ton going on. As you recall, we had the big dip from August to September. September's numbers ended up dropping back. The average home sale price was the big news by a little over 2%, and we picked up a little bit of that. We We're now at 6.2% is the average home sale price there. We picked up, this is our little market calculator sheet that's on our newsletter. We picked up over here 1.15% that we gained back from the loss. Most of the other numbers, even though the percentages may seem big, like inventory dropped 7.69%, may seem kind of a big deal, but in my opinion, it's really not. It's seasonal. It only went from 1.3 to 1.2. That percentage-wise, that may be a bigger deal than, well, it is a bigger deal than it shows in reality, in my opinion. Active listings went down from 898 down to 794, so it was a little over 11%. Pending went down almost 6%, and closed went up 6%. So that's really not all that surprising for this time of year, because what we see is obviously this trend for active listings. It goes this way and then starts to tail off as we get closer to the end of the year. One thing I do want to mention, though, and this is what I was talking about with potentially listing at the beginning of the year and why that could be an advantage. If you notice, like back here, how tight the red line is, which is the active listings, there's really not much of a gap between the gray, which is pending, and then the dark line, which is the closed sales. Versus right now, look at this gap we have here. So in other words, this tells us a little bit more about what's going on with demand, the fact that we have fewer homes on the market, but we have buyers that are there to kind of eat up that supply. So anyway, just something to think about. Sorry for this one rambling on just a little bit long. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and give us a shout if we can help you. Thanks. Bye.